It's your hero Super 10 back with another edition of Super TV. We are into our Black History Month specials. We are discussing not just history of black people in America, but what we can do in today's society to push to make more history. One thing that we are known for in history is our music, our hip-hop music. And that's why I always represent every week and show you a video from the Cypher with some local hip-hop. We're going to take you to a special video because we're talking hip-hop, we're talking activism, and how our music should be an influence in our community to push for a better society in general. So check out this video from a plethora of hip-hop superstars called Self-Destruction. That's what's up, in Hero Super Tim. Here with Super TV, Black History Month specials. We're talking hip-hop, we're talking activism, we're talking about how hip-hop used to be kind of active in the community and conscious. Now we kind of lost that, and what we got to do to get it back. In the studio, I have the pleasure of speaking hip-hop with one of the DMV's all-time best hip-hop artists, Mr. Enoch, the Seventh Prophet.
Peace, man. How you doing?
What's going on, Enoch?
I'm here. I'm in these streets, you know.
That's what's
Super
up.
TV. That's where we at.
Yeah.
Yep,
Enoch in the building. Enoch is, you can see yourself a conscious rapper?
I would consider myself an artist because there's, you know, if I'm consciously aware of my artistry, then yes. But I don't like to be put in a box because I do a lot of. I'm so much into the art scene that I'm just not just a hip hop artist. You know, I'm a photographer. I'm a visionary. You know, and I do other things that won't allow me to be in a box so much. So.
Gotcha.
If you want to call me a conscious artist, cool.
Well, I've heard music. I mean,
you know
I know
what I mean?
the music I've heard. You know what I'm saying? It's aware. You know what I'm saying? I won't say I'm gonna say it's real.
Right.
Let me say that much. So it's not like pop your pussy in the club, pop bottles with my bling bling type stuff, and
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's stuff that you can, when you finish listening to it, you know some shit afterwards. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, you know what I'm saying, how hip hop used to be music where we can either, if it was just something to have fun with and just enjoy, it was something that we were learning from.
Right.
And the history of that and what happened to that and what we need to do to get it back. So coming from our era, we not these young whippersnappers out here. We seasoned veterans in life. And we remember those days where you can get the message, you know what I'm saying, where it was good music, but like I said, it was a message in the music. How important was that as we were coming up as black men, black youth, hearing something like that on the radio?
Well, I think it's still important. But back then, I think it was more important because some of us was raised by our grandmothers. Some of us was raised by single moms. Some of us was raised by our moms being on the street doing all type of drugs and being brought into the fold of our grandma. So, you know, there were certain things that we couldn't listen to. Like me growing up, I couldn't listen to hip-hop music. I had to listen to Shirley Caesar or the Williams Brothers. I had to listen to a lot of gospel. So my initial reaction to listening to Boogie Down Productions, Jimmy, the J, the I, the M, the Y is Jimmy. That taught me that if I'm going to be sexually active, then I should wear a condom. So there was so much music out there that was actually putting gems in the brains of those kids in the youth that was raised by their grandmother. So I think back then the message was so real that you can relate to it. Then the message now is kind of watered down so radio can play it. So it can be friendly to the ears of those who don't want to be preached to or taught any type of lessons to. But back then, everybody did that message, but everyone was sounding differently doing that message too, and I thought that was pretty dope.
It wasn't more so about, I mean, it was about selling records because music is a business. But I guess the difference between the consumer then and the consumer now is the fact that, I mean, they're going to sell what is being bought. I'm not saying what we buy because I don't buy the BS. But whatever the consumer is selling, that's what they're going to continue to put out. And do you feel like today's musicians or today's artists are taking the responsibility to be real about their music, or do you think they're just kind of running for the money?
I think some of the artists are just running for the money. I don't think they're really concerned about what they're saying in the rhyme. It's just about the dollar, how many girls they can get, the likes on Instagram, the likes on Facebook, and it's all about this idea of an illusion. So they're not really putting any thought process in the rhyme. So I don't think they really care. You know, I think some of them are just running for the money. But you have certain artists who's just strictly about the lyrics and want to get their message out and across, no matter if they sell 2 CDs or 4 CDs or have to give away 100 CDs for people to listen to their product. That's what they're going to do. And I think they're not really focused on the money, but the money will come. I think they're focused on the message and what people perceive them to be as an artist.
I remember Lupe Fiasco had a lot of issues with his label putting out his last CD because he wanted to put out his message and they wanted to put out bubblegum commercial stuff. And they battled for a lot of years over a lot of different songs to put on the album because he was like, no, I'm not doing that BS. This is who I am. This is the artist that I am. This is what my fans want to hear. And like you said, even if you sell 2 albums, he wasn't concerned about how many albums he sold as long as he was true to his craft and was true to the fans who were into what he talked about. That's all that was important. Nowadays, I mean, you have people like Chance the Rapper, who's not even on a record label, but he's nominated for Grammys. You know what I'm saying? He is one of the top rappers in today's society. The internet and the ability for independent artists. Do you think conscious rappers or rappers with a message take advantage of the ability to get their music out there without a label to be able to make an impact?
I don't really think some understand the concept behind owning their own masters or owning their own sound. And some of the conscious rappers, I just put that in a quotation so everyone can understand what we're talking about. Some of the conscious rappers don't want to mix and mingle with those who aren't conscious. Like if someone would call me today and say, hey, Enoch, you want to do a record with Lil Uzi Vert. Now, me personally, I'll do a record with Lil Uzi Vert, but he's not going to change my flow and my style of music that I bring across. My thing now is like, if I'm going to do a record with Uzi Vert, I want to get that fan base because he has a longer reach. You know what I mean? And then he can cross over to my fan base, and it's almost one of those things. So I think certain artists don't jump on the opportunity to do it themselves. They rather be signed to a label because it's easier. They don't want to really work hard for it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the distribution aspect that a label brings is helpful. But, I mean, the internet is free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you know how to work your Facebooks and your Instagrams, you can get a lot of fans. I mean, nowadays you got people like Shawty the MC, who's barely out of high school, but like she's loved across the city. Rico Nasty and who's the guy? Young Hefe Holmes. Who is that? Shy Glizzy.
Right.
I mean, these are people who have worked their way through social media, through getting out there and grinding to get a fan base to the point where they can get paid.
Right.
And they can be able to demand things from a label or promoter or radio station because people love my music and they're grinding.
But you know what the hardest thing is that if we would have had this in the 80s and the 90s, what we have now, a lot of us would have been signed. A lot of us would have been signed. But it's systematically, I think, perpetuated or put in the system like that to make the Instagram world or the Facebook world or the internet more popular for certain artists to get on and quickly be a YouTube sensation. And now they're touring the country off being a YouTube sensation, but they're doing cover records, or they just a YouTube sensation and that's it. So I think it's more easier for the now artists to do it, and it's a little more difficult for those who was raised in the culture of hip hop in the 80s and the 90s to be online all the time. It's sometimes they're like, yo, I can't, I'm a lose out here because I can't operate my Instagram or I can't operate my Facebook. So I mean, I think with that they have to learn how to play both worlds at the same time.
That's what's up. We're gonna take a quick break and check out some more conscious hip hop for your mind. We're gonna come back and talk to Mr. Enoch right after this.
J Heat, Hustle Every Anything.
You should be there. I want this to go on. Fuck HBO. I want this going China 7, China 5, prime time, stop HBO.
Listen.
Man, when I mean fake, man, they fake. They be B shit. They like cartoons, man. They ain't real. You can do anything with a plastic, you know what I mean?
Murder in the streets, that's an execution. Yo, our evolution starting with the revolution. So tell them that we want our fucking retribution. These niggas better come up with a resolution. They wasn't talking about us in the Constitution. That's why most of my niggas in the distribution. Soul gang nigga, this the fucking movement. I just write it all down, put it in my music.
They killing us, man. I'm telling you, man, they killing us. They don't give us no law or nothing. They laugh, they smile in your face and stab you in your back. You already judged me before you even knew me by reading the newspaper.
Was born into a system that's designed to fail. Niggas dying in the streets or they die in jail. Yo, I swear, my life was like a living hell. It ain't living well sitting in a prison cell. But through it all, though, you know we gon' still prevail. My niggas buying scales just to get them wide sales. My man's making sales cause they ain't make the NFL. Shit, I was blowing on the L since like I was 12. I get high as hell, why? Cause I might as well. It was my man first offense, they ain't gave him bail. If I had to give advice, this what I would tell. If you go and do some dirt, do it by yourself.
Man, they don't do nothing but set us up and killing us, man. Talking about the system. What is the system? You wanna know what the system is?
Speak that shit.
Damn, that fake ass judge, punk ass prosecutor, and them faggot ass lawyers that all them. Talking about the system, the police, homicide, DEA, FBI, all of them.
Man, I'm just praying for our sons and daughters. We losing too many black fathers. Black kings becoming the newest black martyrs. Won't give us justice, but still taking our black dollars. This shit wild, but really these is the facts, partner. That it ain't too many Sean Carters. But it's a lot of niggas wearing Bob Barkers. You live by it, you die by it. Now that's karma. He did his bid without snitching. Now that's honor. And these days we still slaves. We just smarter. Without chains ain't much change. It's just smarter. We had a black president, but it's really the same though. But we less like Kunta now. We more Django. The battle of war, all my niggas is trained folk. To cock that thing back and watch they brains blow. It's 2018 and I'm Nat Turner with a black burner, ready to commit mass murder.
Instead of putting all the liquor stores in the community, why don't you put a little daycare joint right there or something, you know? People's crazy, man. They ain't doing nothing but they might go and get a damn gun and lay everybody down and shoot everybody in the head 2 times.
I just killed this shit, this an execution. Yo, our evolution started with the revolution. So tell them that we want our fucking retribution. These niggas better come up with a resolution. They wasn't talking about us in the Constitution. That's why most of my niggas in the distribution. Soul gang nigga, this the fucking movement. I just write it all down, put it in my music.
That's all they doing. They just doing it in another way.
R.I.P. to all the fallen soldiers.
R.I.P.
Yeah? We need justice, yeah. We want justice.
Mike Brown.
Freddie Gray, Trayvon Martin, Philandro Castile, Alton Sterling, Tamir Rice, Terrence Crutcher, Keith Scott, Corinne Gaines, Emmett Till, Turn Sterling.
R.I.P. to my nigga Troublefield. Rest in peace, boy.
Salute to all the G's,
All the kings and queens.
all my niggas behind the wall,
All my soldiers down at war. Soul gang. J Heat. The heat is on. Appreciate that.
That's what's up. Here on SupaTV, we are talking hip-hop activism and the importance of our hip-hop artists and the people in the hip-hop culture to utilize their artistry to be leaders and make a difference in the community. We got Enoch, the Seventh Prophet, in the building. I want to talk about this guy right here, Mr. Tupac Shakur. A lot of people say he's the best rapper ever. I beg to differ, but I want to discuss how him as an artist. I want to discuss how I feel like I'm not a Tupac fan. As an artist, I was at one point in time a Tupac fan for who he was as a man. And I have had an issue with Tupac ever since he got with Death Row. Simply not because of the music, because he squandered an opportunity to utilize his platform to make a difference. Tupac to me was probably he was the most influential black man in America, and as opposed to using that influence to make change and be a leader, he chose to go a different route and become more controversial and more combative to the point where it caused his demise.
Right.
Outside of the music, I mean, even in a musical standpoint, you got your Dear Mamas and your Brenda's Got the Babies, but then he's also fucking people's wives and nigga, you shoot him up. And I'm like, how could we do both? And that's always been an issue with me with Tupac. But looking at somebody like Tupac, how do you feel about Tupac as a man being somebody who could have been more influential?
Only thing I can say about that is that, you know, I never knew Tupac as an individual, as a person per se. You know, we always seen him personified through the media and listening to his music and interviews. So every time we see Tupac interview, and he'd give us a piece of him. You know, the music, we get the realness from the music. I saw Tupac as a dope poet. I never really saw him as an MC. You know, the move the crowd type of individual, boom, bap. Always saw him as a poet, because everything he wrote was very poetic and was coming straight from his heart. So when you say, you know, having sex with other people's wives or doing this and doing that, that was Tupac. You know, that's the Tupac we saw, and that's the Tupac you know, that he gave us through his music. So with Tupac, I think he reached the street dudes. Then I think he reached the dudes who was thinking about being on the streets. And then I think he reached the dudes that was like mama's boys. He wrote the song Dear Mama. So it was like you seen all these certain aspects of him. And I thought that was the most beautifulest thing about Tupac, is that he showed us 360 of him, and he didn't hold back any punches. You saw the real him. So I always thought Tupac was a dope poet, you know. So he'll be in my, you know, in my tops, but I'll look at him more as a poet.
So he's talking about his issues as a man directly related to his lack of a father. And it's kind of sad that we see people with so much ability that don't know how to address their own emotions, to the point where we don't have our leaders. We don't have people progressing to become leaders because they have too many issues with just learn how to deal with themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How can I lead somebody when I'm still having all these issues? 1 minute I want to be a leader, and if you like the movie All Eyes on Me, it was a lot of scenes where he's talking to labels and they want to play this gangster song. He was like, nah, I want you to play this song because it speaks to my people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what we see on the radio and on TV, through interviews and MTV and BET is not all of Tupac. I think through All Eyes on Me gave us more an ability to see how much he wanted to put music out there that represented his people, that spoke to his people, that empowered his people. But the inability to manage himself because of what he says, the lack of having a father in his life, and having that discipline and know when to cut out the bullshit and just focus on who you are as a man and what God put you on this earth to do.
Because you know, Tupac, he was young. So you're gonna do young and crazy stuff anyway. But as you mature as a man, and then you mature in this business he was in, I think he realized, like, I got to cut all this out. I got to do something to change something. And by the time he had that thought to change something, whatever he was doing in the past caught up with him. You know, so I think he was very influential in that time frame. Like you had the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, him, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. You had all these people who was kind of like influential in the culture of hip hop. But Tupac had that. He had us like those street dudes. He had everybody like glued to what he was saying. His word was bond. So I think he missed the opportunity, or got the opportunity taken away from him to change something. And then he had certain people around him that were just feeding him obscure stuff. Yeah,
I don't think dealing with death row was the best thing for him, especially dealing with somebody like Suge Knight. Like from watching the movie, seeing how Suge Knight kind of manipulated people, to put and to the point where he manipulated people, then he struck fear in people to the point where, yeah, you owe me 10 albums and you were gonna give them 10 albums, or I'm throwing you off the roof. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, Tupac was caught up in that, and because at the time he was going through a lot of legal issues, and not too many labels was trying to take on somebody like him with that much controversy. But eventually, I mean, it's sad because at the point when he died, he was in the midst of creating another Death Row, where he can strictly be creative and run his own thing and do Tupac music, and still give Suge what he owed Suge, but just in a way where it was Tupac.
Right, because I think in the movie, he went to Suge and was like, he wanted to be out.
Yeah, he did it. He gave Suge what he owed
Suge
him.
was like,
he was like, yeah, I done paid this. He pulled out the book.
Suge
is a gangster. He was like, yeah, see these studios, yeah, all this shit costs, and yeah, you owe me.
I need all this.
Yeah.
So Tupac was just
you
like,
want to walk? Yeah, give me my bread.
Right.
This shit ain't free.
It ain't free.
Like, God damn, this nigga got me again.
Got him. So
but once he was paid off, he was like, yeah, I'm good. You paid off. I gave you all the albums. He was like, nah, wait, I got something for you. And that's when he presented Death Row. Well, Death Row East. Death Row East.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
he was
something like
supposed
that.
to run
Yeah.
Death Row East. And he was like, that's all you. You can do whatever you want. And that way he still had Tupac under lock and key. Because he wasn't letting all that money walk.
And I think it goes back to like owning your own idea, owning your own masters, owning your own concept. Tupac was a concept. Tupac was a idea. It was his idea. So if he would have figured out how to own his own idea and capitalize on his own idea and become what we wanted him to be, then yeah, he would have done that. But it was just like that idea and concept was just taken away from us. So, you know, who do we look to now as that? You're that dude to lead us to the hip hop promised land. It's not too many dudes out there unless you know, it's not that many dudes out there doing that, or females for that. That's
So
gonna lead me to the promised land.
Yes, out of now in today's hip hop, who is the closest to being somebody who could be a positive influence and kind of bring people to seeing that doing positive things and working to get out the hood is more important than working to stay and to be hood famous.
Right. I think now people talk about the Kendrick Lamar, the J. Cole's. Not me. I look at Saha the Prince.
Okay.
Saha the Prince is sitting right in between that line of like church and street. So he's bringing this. He's bringing this idea of a church mentality to the streets, and the streets to the idea of the church, and he's on the borderline of that, but he's making it work. So he can't be a leader to those who don't know God at all, or those who trying to find a way out while still smoking reefer with them on the corner or trees with them on the corner. He's still trying to find a way to bring them out of that dark place to guide them somewhere else. And I think he's that dude right now. I mean, he's real low key about it, but I think he's that dude right now, mainstream wise. So in DC, I mean, I always thought it was me, you know, and no slight to me, but I thought it was always me. But I think I've been planting seeds in some of the younger artists that it can be them, you know, because I'm getting older now, whatever the case may be. But I think I'm still that voice of the city and or of the community in which I come from.
That's what's up. Well, I've always respected you as an artist because you're the type of person who speak the real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the real is always needed. And if anybody know me, I'm a real nigga. I'm going to say what the fuck I feel. You can block me on Facebook, but I don't say anything. When I try to be real because I feel as though what I say is something that needs to be heard.
Right.
Whether you like it or not.
Right.
And this mother. But that's all for Super TV today. I want to thank Enoch the 7 Prophet for coming on through. Tell them how they can get in touch with you.
Enoch 7 Prophet, thank y'all so much for having me. You can find me on Instagram, Enoch 7 Prophet, Facebook, Enoch 7 Prophet, Twitter, E7P, and I'm rocking with the label Chakra Music.
Yeah,
so that's what we're doing.
And if you need some flicks and some clicks.
Yeah, El Shemesh Photography. Just follow me on Enoch 7 Prophet, and then I'll guide you to El Shemesh Photography, where you can see all the latest works and stuff like that.
That's what's up. Thank you, sir, for coming out.
Thank
Finally
you, man.
coming out.
Absolutely.
Been trying to get him out here for a minute.
I know, man. I appreciate it, though.
When you here on one of the most important shows.
Right.
You know what I'm
And,
saying?
you know, Sonic Gods, we just dropped the album Sonic Gods. It's the 10th album. It's independent. So Sonic Gods, you can find that any and everywhere online. So that's where we at.
We're going to get him out here to rock the mic one day on Super TV.
Yes, sir.
Head Rock trying to come out and do some stuff.
That's what's up.
So maybe when we get Head Rock, I know he probably call you up like, yo, we doing the Super TV. Come on.
Right. Or he'll hit me up on Instagram or something like that. So yeah, that's what's
We're
up.
gonna get the whole posse out. He got some stuff planned. We got some stuff planned for the future.
Okay.
But that's what's up. I'm Hero Super Tim. I want to thank everybody for checking out this edition of Super TV, celebrating Black History Month with your hero. Make sure you check out Super Radios Friday full of bangers tonight, so you can check out some DMV hip hop, R&B, and go-go. That's uncensored, uncut, and raw. It's the only DMV hip hop show on the FM dial. Not only the only DMV hip hop show on the FM dial, but the only one that's definitely uncut and raw. So we get all them motherfuckers and bitches and shit in the music. We don't edit our shit. That's why I come on midnight. When you chilling with your homies on Friday night. Yeah, nigga, this motherfucking shit right here, nigga. That Super Radio shit, nigga. That's what's up. Check it out at midnight on WEIA 96.7 FM. If you can't get it on FM, WEIA.FM online. Make sure you check it out on Your Super Radio on all social media, and make sure you check out Your Super TV on not all of them, Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you catch me in the streets, catch me in the studio, catch me online. Because if you ain't there, you ain't nowhere. I'm Hero Super Tim. In the middle.